In the silent layers of Earth's ancient past, long before human memory, before even the rise of the first civilizations, something far more terrifying ruled the planet. Beneath shifting continents and drowned beneath oceans of time, fossilized remains whisper of creatures that once dominated entire worlds. Apex predators, colossal giants, and evolutionary experiments unlike anything alive today. Their bones, locked within sedimentary rock, tell a story not just of survival, but of dominance, fear, and extinction. In one such discovery, deep within the rust-colored badlands of South America, paleontologists uncovered a skull so massive and grotesque that it challenged everything previously known about prehistoric predators. Its jaws were lined with blade-like teeth, designed not merely to kill, but to obliterate. This was not a creature of myth. It was real, and it was only one of many. These are the terrifying rulers of prehistoric Earth, 7 extinct animals that once held absolute power over their ecosystems, shaping the course of evolution itself. The story begins over 270 million years ago, during the late Permian period, a time when Earth's continents were fused into a single supercontinent known as Pangaea. The climate was harsh, dominated by vast deserts and seasonal extremes. Yet even in this unforgiving world, life flourished in strange and formidable forms. Among them was a predator that would become one of the earliest apex hunters in terrestrial history, Inostrancevia. Unlike modern reptiles or mammals, Inostrancevia belonged to a group known as therapsids, often referred to as mammal-like reptiles. But its appearance was anything but gentle. Stretching up to 3.5 meters in length, it possessed a long, muscular body supported by powerful limbs, allowing it to move with surprising agility. Its most striking feature, however, was its skull. Elongated and narrow, it housed 2 enormous saber-like canines that extended downward like curved daggers. These were not merely for display. Fossil evidence suggests that Inostrancevia used these teeth to pierce deep into the flesh of its prey, delivering fatal wounds with precision. Paleontologists believe that it preyed upon large herbivorous therapsids, dominating the food chain of its time. Its anatomical structure, particularly the positioning of its limbs beneath its body rather than sprawling outward, indicates a more advanced mode of locomotion, hinting at evolutionary traits that would later appear in true mammals. Yet despite its dominance, Inostrancevia would not survive the catastrophic Permian-Triassic extinction event, the most devastating mass extinction in Earth's history, wiping out nearly 90% of all species. Its reign, like so many others, would come to an abrupt end. But evolution does not stop. It adapts. It rebuilds. Millions of years later, during the Triassic period, another terrifying predator would rise to take its place, this time in the waters. In what is now modern-day Europe, fossilized remains uncovered in ancient marine deposits revealed the existence of a creature that blurred the line between reptile and nightmare, Nothosaurus. Unlike the fully aquatic reptiles that would follow, Nothosaurus occupied a unique evolutionary position. Measuring up to 4 meters in length, it had a long, slender body, webbed limbs, and an elongated neck that allowed it to strike swiftly in shallow coastal waters. Its skull was lined with sharp, interlocking teeth, perfectly adapted for gripping slippery prey such as fish and cephalopods. But what made Nothosaurus particularly effective was its ambush strategy. Rather than chasing prey over long distances, it likely lurked beneath the surface, motionless, waiting for the perfect moment. Then, with a sudden burst of speed, it would lunge forward, jaws snapping shut with lethal precision. Sedimentary evidence suggests that Nothosaurus thrived in warm, shallow seas that covered much of the Triassic landscape. These environments were rich in biodiversity, creating a competitive ecosystem where only the most efficient predators could survive. And survive it did, until the rise of even more specialized marine reptiles began to outcompete it, pushing Nothosaurus toward extinction. As the Triassic gave way to the Jurassic period, life on Earth entered a new phase of expansion. Forests grew denser, oceans deepened, and the age of dinosaurs began. Yet among the giants that walked the land, there were predators far more terrifying than their size alone would suggest. One such creature was Ceratosaurus, Discovered in the fossil-rich formations of North America, Ceratosaurus lived approximately 150 million years ago during the late Jurassic. At first glance, it may appear similar to other theropod dinosaurs, but closer examination reveals a far more specialized hunter. Measuring around 6 meters in length, Ceratosaurus possessed a powerful, muscular tail and relatively short but strong forelimbs. But its most distinctive feature was the prominent horn on its snout, an anatomical structure whose purpose remains debated among scientists. Some suggest it was used for display or species recognition. Others believe it may have played a role in combat, either against rivals or prey. Its jaws, however, leave little room for speculation. Lined with long, curved teeth, they were perfectly designed for slicing through flesh. Bite mark analysis on fossilized bones indicates that Ceratosaurus may have fed not only on live prey but also scavenged carcasses, displaying a level of opportunistic behavior that increased its chances of survival. Its environment was a dynamic floodplain, dotted with rivers and lush vegetation, home to massive herbivores like sauropods. In such a landscape, competition among predators was intense. Yet Ceratosaurus carved out its own niche, possibly favoring aquatic prey or hunting along riverbanks, where its agility and speed gave it a distinct advantage. But even as dinosaurs dominated the land, the oceans were evolving their own giants, creatures that would redefine what it meant to be an apex predator. During the late Jurassic, deep within ancient seas, another terrifying ruler emerged, Liopleurodon. Unlike the slender Nothosaurus, Liopleurodon was built for power. Reaching lengths of up to 6 to 7 meters or possibly more, this pliosaur possessed a massive head, accounting for nearly a quarter of its body length. Its jaws were immense, filled with conical teeth capable of crushing bone and tearing through flesh with ease. But perhaps its most terrifying adaptation was its bite force. Biomechanical analysis suggests that Liopleurodon had one of the strongest bites of any marine predator in its time, allowing it to prey on large fish, other marine reptiles, and even its own kind. Its body was streamlined, with 4 powerful flippers that enabled it to move through water with remarkable speed and precision. Unlike ambush predators, Liopleurodon was an active hunter, capable of pursuing prey across vast distances. Fossil evidence indicates that it inhabited open oceans, where visibility was limited and survival depended on sensory adaptations. Some scientists theorize that it possessed an advanced sense of smell, allowing it to detect prey from kilometers away. In this dark and expansive environment, Liopleurodon reigned supreme, a true apex predator of the Jurassic seas. Yet even the most dominant rulers cannot escape the relentless march of time. As the Earth continued to change, climates shifted, sea levels rose and fell, and ecosystems transformed. New predators would emerge, each more specialized, more efficient, and often more terrifying than the last. And buried within the layers of rock, waiting to be discovered, are the remains of creatures even more formidable, beings that would push the limits of size, strength, and predatory evolution to extremes never seen before. The story of prehistoric Earth is not one of peace, but of constant struggle, an endless cycle of adaptation, dominance, and extinction. And as paleontologists continue to uncover the fossilized echoes of these ancient rulers, one truth becomes increasingly clear. The creatures that once ruled this planet were not just larger or stronger than those of today. They were something far more terrifying, and their story is far from over. The fossil record is a window into a world that no longer exists, a world where every ecosystem was a stage for survival, and where the balance of life was maintained through the struggle between predator and prey. As the Jurassic period waned and the Cretaceous dawned, the Earth became a theater of immense biodiversity, where some of the most terrifying animals ever to exist evolved to heights of predatory mastery that challenge our imagination. Among these, one name stands out, unearthed in the chalky cliffs of Western Europe: Megaloceros, the so-called giant deer. Though not a predator, Megaloceros represents a type of evolutionary terror in its own right. The scale and sophistication of its survival strategies were enough to dominate the landscapes of the Pleistocene epoch. Emerging around 400,000 years ago, this colossal herbivore could reach a height of nearly 2 meters at the shoulder. its antlers, sprawling in a magnificent and intimidating array over 3 meters from tip to tip, were not merely ornamental. They were weapons, designed for combat with rivals during the mating season and for defense against the predators of its time. Fossilized antler tips show marks of repeated clashes, suggesting that males engaged in ritualized battles that could be fatal. Imagine traversing the open forests and glacial plains, the silhouette of these giants dominating the horizon, a living monument to the extremes of evolutionary adaptation. But it was not only herbivores whose evolution reached extraordinary levels. Carnivores of the Cretaceous period pushed anatomical and behavioral development to almost grotesque precision. One such apex predator was the aquatic titan known as Kronosaurus. Discovered in the fossil beds of Australia, Kronosaurus could reach lengths of over 10 meters, with a skull nearly 2 meters long and jaws bristling with conical teeth, each capable of inflicting catastrophic damage. Unlike the more slender pliosaurs, Kronosaurus relied on sheer power and brute force. Sedimentary deposits indicated inhabited shallow seas and reefs, ambushing prey with explosive lunges, its massive body propelling it with terrifying speed. Fossil evidence of partially digested prey within ribcages paints a vivid portrait of a relentless hunter, one that dominated its aquatic realm without peer. Yet terrestrial predators were evolving in parallel. In the fossil-rich formations of North America, paleontologists have uncovered evidence of a creature whose reputation as a terror of the Cretaceous is unmatched: Tyrannosaurus rex. Measuring over 12 meters in length, with a massive skull capable of crushing bone, this apex predator combined intelligence, sensory acuity, and unparalleled killing power. Bite marks on fossilized hadrosaur and ceratopsian bones reveal a predator that could not only hunt but efficiently consume large prey, exerting a profound selective pressure on the herbivorous populations around it. Its tiny forelimbs, often mocked, were likely highly specialized, assisting in gripping prey while the enormous jaws delivered decisive attacks. The evolutionary significance of T. rex cannot be overstated. It represents the culmination of a lineage of theropods refined over millions of years, a creature designed with terrifying precision to dominate the terrestrial food chain. Paleontologists studying the sedimentary layers of the Hell Creek Formation have reconstructed the ecosystems in which T. rex thrived. Vast river valleys and floodplains supported dense populations of herbivorous dinosaurs, from the armored ankylosaurs to the towering ceratopsians. Forested areas offered concealment for ambushes, while open plains allowed for high-speed chases. Within this complex mosaic of habitats, T. rex maintained its supremacy, exploiting every niche available to a predator of its size and strength. It is a sobering reminder of how evolutionary pressures can shape anatomy, behavior, and ecological dominance into a perfect, and often terrifying, adaptation. But the story of terror is not limited to the land. The oceans, too, teemed with predators that combine size, speed, and intelligence in ways that make modern sharks appear modest by comparison. Among them, Mosasaurus reigns supreme. Emerging during the late Cretaceous, this massive marine reptile could grow over 17 meters long, a streamlined apex predator armed with a flexible skull, powerful jaws, and an array of conical teeth that could tear through virtually any prey. Fossilized stomach contents reveal a diet that included other marine reptiles, ammonites, and large fish, indicating a level of predatory dominance rarely matched. Mosasaurus was not merely a hunter, it was a master of its domain, an embodiment of evolutionary efficiency in a world where failure meant extinction. The anatomy of Mosasaurus is a testament to adaptation. Its body, torpedo-shaped, allowed rapid bursts of speed, while the paddles acted as rudders, steering with precision. Unlike terrestrial predators, it relied on ambush, stalking prey from the depths before launching a decisive strike. Its skeletal structure suggests a highly flexible spine, enabling sudden changes in direction to capture even the swiftest prey. Paleontologists believe that this creature's dominance exerted selective pressure across entire marine ecosystems, shaping the evolution of other species in its domain. Yet for all their terror, the end was inevitable. The mass extinction event at the close of the Cretaceous, triggered by an asteroid impact near present-day Chicxulub, transformed every ecosystem on Earth. Giants fell. Apex predators vanished. Oceans emptied of their most fearsome inhabitants. Fossil evidence shows a sudden, catastrophic disruption, an abrupt severing of evolutionary continuity. Species like T. rex and Mosasaurus, despite their extraordinary adaptations, could not withstand the global environmental collapse that ensued. But extinction does not erase their story. Fossils, these ancient mineralized echoes, preserve not only bones but behavior, ecology, and evolutionary strategy. Through careful excavation, measurement, and analysis, paleontologists reconstruct these lost worlds, revealing insights into the complexity, brutality, and ingenuity of life that once thrived. Each discovery, from a jagged tooth to a massive limb bone, adds a chapter to a narrative of survival and adaptation stretching across hundreds of millions of years. In addition to the well-known predators and colossal herbivores, some extinct animals were terrifying in less obvious ways. Consider Deinosuchus, a massive crocodiliform that patrolled the rivers and coastlines of North America during the late Cretaceous. Measuring up to 12 meters in length, it was not only a predator but also a stealth ambush specialist. Fossilized bite marks on hadrosaur bones indicate that this predator could attack creatures far larger than itself, dragging them beneath the water with deadly efficiency. Its anatomical adaptations, a reinforced skull, massive jaws, and a body built for sudden bursts of speed, demonstrate a creature optimized for predation within aquatic and semi-aquatic environments. Deinosuchus was a living testament to the fact that evolutionary success often favors patience, power, and precision over sheer speed or size. Across continents and through time, these extinct animals remind us of the extremes to which life can evolve. The gigantic, the terrifying, the bizarre. All were responses to environmental pressures, competition, and survival needs. Fossilized footprints, coprolites, and preserved skeletal structures provide glimpses into hunting strategies, social behavior, and anatomical innovation. Through these traces, we understand that prehistoric Earth was not merely a place of giants. It was a crucible of evolutionary experimentation, where success and extinction were separated by the narrowest margins. And yet, the cycle of fear and dominance continued. Even after the extinction of the non-avian dinosaurs, the world did not become a quiet, peaceful place. Mammalian predators rose to fill the void, evolving new forms of terror. Among the most astonishing was Andrewsarchus, a predator of the Eocene epoch, discovered in the sedimentary deposits of Mongolia. Known primarily from a massive skull measuring over 80 centimeters in length, this carnivore is believed to have reached lengths comparable to modern-day orcas. Its enormous jaws, bristling with teeth, were capable of crushing bone, and its anatomical features suggest it was both a scavenger and an active predator. The reconstruction of its musculature indicates a creature adapted to both endurance and bursts of power, capable of hunting and subduing prey far larger than itself. Fossil evidence, though fragmentary, provides a chilling glimpse into a predator that would have dominated post-dinosaur ecosystems with relentless efficiency. In examining these extinct animals, one pattern emerges. Terror in the prehistoric world was rarely a function of a single trait. Size, speed, strength, sensory adaptations, and behavioral complexity combined to create species capable of dominating their environments. Apex predators were often evolutionary marvels, with each adaptation finely tuned to their ecological niche. Herbivores, equally, developed defenses and strategies that rivaled predators in ingenuity. Together, these animals shaped ecosystems, influencing evolutionary pathways in ways that still resonate in the genetic legacy of modern species. Through the meticulous work of paleontologists, these creatures are resurrected in scientific imagination. Each fossil, carefully excavated from sedimentary deposits, is a fragment of a story that spans millions of years. The discovery process itself is fraught with challenges. Erosion, tectonic shifts, and deep burial make each find a rare window into an otherwise inaccessible past. Yet with every excavation, with every laboratory analysis, the contours of prehistoric life grow clearer, revealing ecosystems more complex and predators more terrifying than most of us can truly comprehend. The Earth of the past was a place of extremes, and life responded with extremes of its own. From the saber-toothed Inostrancevia to the riverine ambush predator Deinosuchus, from the oceanic monster Mosasaurus to the terrestrial titan T. Rex, evolution produced creatures that inspired awe and fear in equal measure. Each discovery reminds us that domination and survival are not guaranteed, that even the most terrifying creatures are vulnerable to the inexorable forces of climate, competition, and catastrophe. And yet, as we continue to unearth new fossils, we realize that the story is far from complete. There are still shadows to be explored, unknown predators to be revealed, and terrifying adaptations that may never have been documented. The Earth's fossil record is not merely a catalog of extinct life. It is a living testament to the resilience, ingenuity, and danger inherent in evolution itself. These terrifying rulers of prehistoric Earth were not simply larger or stronger than their modern counterparts. They were the product of millions of years of adaptation, the embodiment of evolutionary pressures pushed to their most extreme limits. They shaped the world around them, dominated ecosystems, and left behind a legacy that continues to fascinate and terrify us today. Their reigns, though ultimately finite, echo across time, reminding us that the Earth was once a world ruled not by humans, but by giants, hunters, and monsters of extraordinary design. As the Eocene and Oligocene epochs gave way to the Miocene, the Earth continued its relentless transformation. Forests receded in some regions, grasslands expanded in others, and new climatic pressures created niches for predators of unprecedented specialization. Among these emergent rulers of prehistoric Earth was Titanoboa, a creature so enormous that its existence challenges modern conceptions of predatory dominance. Discovered in the fossilized coal deposits of what is now Colombia, Titanoboa thrived approximately 60 million years ago, in a warm, humid world where dense tropical rainforests stretched unbroken across vast landscapes. Its remains indicate a serpentine giant measuring over 12 meters in length, with a girth capable of constricting prey as large as crocodilians. Unlike terrestrial predators that rely on speed or teeth alone, Titanoboa exemplified a different evolutionary strategy: sheer constrictive power. Fossil analysis of vertebrae and rib structure suggests immense musculature, enabling the serpent to suffocate even the most formidable of its contemporaries. In a world where apex predators often hunted by ambush or pursuit, Titanoboa relied on patience, timing, and the unrelenting force of its coiled body. The discovery of Titanoboa's fossils was itself a dramatic narrative of scientific perseverance. Embedded within thick coal layers, the bones required painstaking excavation, often under sweltering tropical conditions. Paleontologists worked meticulously, documenting each vertebra and rib fragment, reconstructing the skeleton in laboratory conditions to reveal a creature that dwarfed any modern snake. Each vertebra told a story of movement, hunting behavior, and even growth patterns, allowing researchers to extrapolate not only size but predatory technique. Through isotopic analysis of surrounding sediments, scientists inferred that this predator inhabited river systems, lurking beneath the murky waters, striking with sudden precision at unsuspecting prey. It was a reminder that predatory dominance need not rely solely on speed or clawed limbs. Evolution often favors the clever, patient, and formidable.